Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Tom, and I'm here with my pup, Duchess. We're out here on our late night walk. We typically come out every night because she, for some reason, has it built in her head that between 11:30 and 1:30 in the morning, we must go out for a walk. Even if I walk her before I go to bed, which is typically anywhere between 10 or so and midnight, she'll still nudge us and, press her cold nose to our arms when we're sleeping, and she'll wake us up to come out. She loves it out here. We throw a stick. Today it's kind of wet. It's been raining here in South Carolina for the last few days, so this ground is kind of soggy and mucky, but it is what it is. Anyway, I digress. You guys are here for the Bolt EV because I'm sure that you saw the title, and actually correction, Bolt EUV, because you guys saw the title of this video, and I want to give you guys an update real quick on the state of that. So it's been I want to say probably a month and a half or so since I actually reached out to GM about the update, because in the last communication that they sent me is that I would be communicating with the dealership directly to find out the updates and everything for the delivery of the car. If you guys are kind of watching these videos out of order, the Bolt EUV is currently at a rail yard in Georgia, and it's pending delivery to the local dealership here in South Carolina, which is in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So kind of going against what the instruction was from GM, I reached out to the buyback coordinator and I told her, I said, listen, it's been a few months since we talked. I think it's time that we, sync up and try to figure out what's going on, because I can't possibly fathom that it's taken, it's been 6 months now since the whole thing started, since I've surrendered my 2020 Bolt EV premiere in Los Angeles, and I did a cross-country move in that time. I've since sold a house. I've pretty much stopped one business, dissolved one business, and started another, and in all that time I've been still sitting on my hands waiting for the new Bolt EUV, the 2023 premiere. So I really have a problem, and I really sat down and I wrote this email, and I thought to myself, I'm just gonna lay it all out and let her, decipher, how I'm feeling. I didn't yell, I didn't use all caps, and I didn't use exclamation marks. I tried to be semi congenial in the email, but as frustration does, it comes out. It seeps out through the pores, and I think that email was no different. So to make a long story short, she did reply. It took her a few days. I sent the email on Monday. She replied yesterday. And I told her, please, I need to know what's happening. And I told her, had I known that this was going to happen 6 months ago, I would have just given you guys the keys, thrown the car at the Chevrolet in Los Angeles, and just gone with another EV, because even though other EVs were heavily overpriced in California or even out of state, I would have been, taken care of, and I would have been done with the whole drama. But you know what? I love the car. I really did. You guys know I've done tons of videos on the car. I've done reviews about it. I've done tips, charging things and all of that stuff. And I thought, I don't want to give up, because I do like the car. The car is at a great price point. GM has done a great job. I believe GM has done a great job designing the car and, targeting a specific market. And I belong in that market. It'd be really difficult for me to fork out however much money it would be to get a Tesla, or to get, an Ioniq, or to get something else that's, charges faster, has a longer battery life, etc., etc. But I don't drive thousands of miles. Actually, I do drive thousands of miles, but my drive time is greatly reduced because my office is right there. My house is right there. My dog is right here. And I don't need to have ridiculous range. I don't sit in traffic anymore. And but by the way, I haven't sat in traffic since I left California. I don't even know what traffic is anymore. The last 6 months have been free flowing at speed limit speeds. So chalk it up to South Carolina, drivers, roadways, whatever. It's great. Also, inclement weather like it is today. Perfect experience. No accidents on the freeway. Everybody was driving a speed limit, 70 miles per hour. It was great. It was a good experience. So going back to the EUV, she replied back. She said, I apologize greatly. And I'm summarizing because the email is, on the computer. And, I'm out here using my phone. Wanted to make sure that, I at least get this recorded before it skips my mind and then I move on to something else. So she essentially apologized. And then she proceeded to tell me that there's nobody to call, nobody to escalate to, because this has to do with third-party contractors that are actually in charge of delivering the vehicles. And I don't know exactly what that means. I don't have the means to really investigate that because I don't handle that. That's not my job. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. But essentially, the reason she said that was because I needed to know if there was somebody I could call, somebody that I could escalate this matter to at least get somebody on the phone to explain to me why my car has taken from July. Actually, I don't even remember. This thing is so drawn out that all the dates are running together, but I'm pretty sure it was like August or something that they built it and then the car was shipped, and here we are. It's just boom, here we are. So all these months go by, and I finally ask her, I said, give me a phone number that we can escalate to. She tells me there's nobody to escalate to. Okay, let's talk to somebody. Well, there's nobody to talk to because it's a transportation delay. It's not a GM manufacturing production delay. Okay, how am I supposed to take that? I'm going to take that with a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper, and probably just a big pinch of anger and hostility. Because if I'm right, the car is literally 250 miles in that direction. And it's closer to me than it is to the dealership that's 35 miles away. And here I am. I'm waiting for my car. By the way, feel the need to point out, I am paying car insurance, and I'm paying the monthly payment on the 2020 Bolt EV. And here's the reason why. I was told originally going through this process that I would continue making the payments on that car, and then that payment schedule would be credited towards the MSRP of the new car. So essentially what I've already paid off on the 2020 Premier would then essentially be credited towards the 2023. So I thought, I'm working, I have income, let's just continue making these payments and drop the price down on top of whatever credits or whatever, potential cash down or whatever GM's gonna give me back because of the reduction of the MSRP price of the 2023 model Bolt EUV. So I'm just sitting here wondering, staring at this lamppost here in my yard, making sure my dog's still around. She didn't run off, chase a cat. I just want to know how you guys would handle this. I know a lot of you shared your despair. A lot of you shared your feelings, your emotions down below. But I want to hear from all of you who come to this channel to talk about the Bolt EUV cars. all of you that are here, I want to hear from you. I want to start a thread. I want to see what the consensus is, because I want to know if I'm being out of line. I don't believe I am, because it's been, like I said, 6 months since I gave up my EV, my Bolt EV in LA, and I'm literally standing here. It is about to be, I don't know, December 9th, I think. It might be December 9th today. And I still have no car. My wife and I are sharing her ICE, her RAV4, and it's tough. It's really tough. You know, I have things I got to do. There's some hobbies that I want to get into, and that they require driving. Different classes that I want to take. Some training that I want to take with regard to my profession. I can't do that because I can't leave my family without a car for potentially 10 hours, you know, at a time. And that means that I will have to rent a car. And I also shared that with GM. I said, you guys realize that for 6 months I've been renting, blah, blah, blah. They glossed over that completely. There was no acknowledgement of the fact that I'm spending my hard-earned money on rentals because GM can't get their stuff together. And as frustrated as this is, as hostile as it makes me, I want to hear from you guys, because I feel like misery loves company, and I know that I'm not the only one in this. I know that you guys are right there, and you guys are there with me, and I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you, and I want to see how we can make this better. You know, I originally started this whole journey with a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. And if you haven't seen that video, go back probably a year on this channel. Look at the 2020 EV playlist, and one of the first ones you'll hear me talking about how I got to this point. And you know, from that point, it was a really quick turnaround with, you know, the recall coordinators reaching out, and then the case being processed and transferred and ultimately handed off to the current people that are working with it, only to then be stuck behind a stop sale that GM had because of the recall, as well as, you know, all the other stuff that kind of came and went, you know, all the Tetris pieces that were coming and going. And I kept trying to make those lines, those horizontal lines, to clear the playing field, to keep up with the Tetris, you know, metaphor. But I'm up here now. Those pieces are stacking up, and I'm coming unglued, because I feel personally like I don't have a choice anymore. I have been committed to this process. I told GM several times that I'm committed to this process. I told the dealer that I'm committed to this process, and I don't think I have any recourse to back out of it, especially since the car has already been manufactured and it's already on its way for delivery. I may be wrong. If there's a lawyer that's watching this that knows anything or has any advice, I'm all ears. If there's an expert that knows how this whole process works from A to Z, I'd love to hear your insight. Is it common for cars to just be sitting at rail yards? Are they in the sun? Are they covered up? Are they exposed to the elements? You know, am I going to get a car that's already beaten up by the elements just by sitting there with, 3 miles on the odometer? I want to get somewhere, and I want to do this. You know, you guys know that my health hasn't been solid, and I feel finally strong enough to just come out swinging. So that's why I sent that email, and that's why, you know, I actually feel good, you know, and I'm feeling well sharing this with you guys. I don't have issues breathing. I'm not lightheaded. I'm not having any of the symptoms that I was having, you know, 2 weeks ago with my fibrillation events and all that stuff. But here we are. It is the middle of the night. I am going to take my dog inside now. We are going to go to bed. Tomorrow we're going to start a new day. And that means that you guys are going to go down in the comments and leave me your thoughts, because I think that for sanity's sake, on my part, I need to know what you guys know. And I think that'll make things a little bit better, and maybe it'll make my days a little bit clearer, because frankly, folks, it is foggy as I don't know what. It's been raining for 3 days, and we have another 3 days of rain coming up. So in the meantime, as always, guys, I appreciate you watching, sticking it out with me, and I apologize that I got a little steamy here, but it has to come out. And if anybody from GM is watching this, boy, reach out, because I'll give you my cell phone number. We'll talk. We'll talk. Until then, have a good evening, and thank you for watching.